Hey there, welcome to day 1263 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business, which you probably don't care one iota about, except that you can learn from the mistakes I've made, and I have tried to make all of them. Pretty much any way I could get diverted or do the incorrect, wrong thing online as I move from the offline world to the online world, I have stepped into those potholes, stepped into those traps, and gotten myself out of them to create the online success and duplicate what I had done in the offline world. I've been in the offline world for 47, going on 48 years now. Started my first business when I was 13, which is unusual, but I had a lot of sisters, and I take after my dad and always wanted to do what he did. And he worked in corporate America and had businesses on the side, and so I wanted to emulate that and do the same thing. So throughout my career, that's what I've done until 2003. I left my last corporate job. My company was actually sold. It was taken up as a merger and acquisition of a much larger group, and my job and hundreds of others were eliminated from that particular manufacturing company. Was probably my favorite corporate job, but I had an opportunity back then to decide, do I want to continue in corporate America, or do I want to run the businesses that I've been running on the side? Do I want to really grow and pay attention to them? So I decided to not look for another job, not go back to corporate America, and go ahead and run my own manufacturing business, which is what I've done for, I divested myself of that in 2007, 2006, right before I came online. But that's what I did until my divorce. So that and other things too as well, of course. But that's a story for a different day. What I'm working on right now in the online world is challenges. We have our 8th actual 30-plus day free Get Up and Go challenge starting on August 1st. So I shared on my regular Facebook profile page a video that I'd done actually a year ago that I forgot about, that was asking people, what is the biggest challenge you have ever faced in your life personally? What's the biggest challenge? Is it health related? I, for one, had a sudden cardiac arrest and passed away. Yet I'm still here speaking to you, so obviously it didn't stick. But if I look back, that is definitely the biggest, most pivotal challenge that I faced in my entire life. And I've had other health challenges prior to that and some after, but that was the biggest one. Maybe it's a financial challenge. Maybe you've declared bankruptcy. Maybe you lost your house. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe it's career related. Maybe it is relationships. Maybe you've had your heart broken. Maybe more than once. Maybe you've been fired from a job. So many people in the last year and a half with COVID-19 actually lost their job, and for the first time in their life, millions of people that never thought they would be out of work found themselves out of work. So share in the comments below, what is your biggest challenge? You can share it here. You don't have to go watch last year's video to ask that question, but share what has been, if you're brave, and you don't have to be super brave to share it because it's just a kind of an informal survey, and maybe I'll actually put a post up that is a survey. I think that would be interesting. What is the biggest challenge that you faced in your life? And again, we're not comparing ourselves to others. We're just saying, this has been my biggest challenge. I know for some people, their biggest challenge in their entire life has been raising their family, or maybe they were born into a rich family and their biggest challenge has been how to spend the money that they've got in a way that honors their core values and beliefs. All of us are different. All of the challenges we face are different. Some people have faced massive prejudice and massive discrimination. Whatever it is, share in the comments below, because then I can tailor the next challenge to make sure that we cover some of those challenges that other people have faced, not just the ones that I've faced in my life, or that other people that have done the challenge before have faced. So I get the right tools included in the challenge to make it the most effective for you. So that's coming up. Our 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that centers us, from the Little Journal book, Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You, was about stretching our mind by learning something practical today. So we're going to learn something practical. I don't know what I'm going to learn today. I am actually doing a training, a 34-part training right now. I think I'm on module 6, maybe. So I for sure will do one of those, if not 3 of those or more today. And that's something practical. I'm learning about speaking and presenting and how we say things and how that really impacts other people. And of course, if we're talking, we want to be impacting people. We want to be communicating in a way that they understand. So that's one of my personal improvement areas this year, is to actually focus on and work on my communication skills. Confidence. I added to the 7 key areas of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. I added communication and confidence this year, and created, and I am working with, and added it to the challenge as well, 9 areas of our life. Why? Because communication and confidence are the foundational skills or abilities, and if we improve them, they will impact every other area of our life. Just like if we improve our health, that impacts every area and aspect of our life. If we are physically healthy, we have the energy to put forth to the other areas and aspects of our life. So, good one today, because we should learn something practical every day, right? We should be honing our skills, or looking into something we're curious about and learning something every single day. I am 61 years old. I keep thinking I'm 62 this year. I'm 61, and I would say every day, with very few exceptions, of my 61 years of my life, I have learned something every single day. Even if it's a slight tweak or a slightly different way of looking at something, to me that's learning something, and I am very grateful for that. So that was our 365-day challenge today. Every year for the last 3, this is year 4, I've done an annual challenge. Why? Because it helped me get over my fear of doing video, number 1. It has helped me really focus in and hone in on a particular skill or ability, or to create something more that I want in my life, by taking a teeny tiny step every day to move toward that thing. The first one was to do one thing every day that scares me, to stretch my comfort zone. And I guarantee my comfort zone is way bigger than it was 4 years ago. The next year was to do one thing every day that made me happy. And why? Because I wanted to find more happiness and joy in my life. I was coming out of my divorce. I had divested myself of all of my businesses and all the different industries I'd worked in with my ex-husband, and I was embarking on a new endeavor. And so I wanted to be happy about that. I wanted to be happy about all the changes that were going on in my life. And I was definitely much happier at the end of that year than I was at the beginning of the year. Then last year, with COVID and all the craziness, I had selected to do one fun thing every day. Why? I wanted more fun in my life. My life had become pretty boring and pretty staid and very routine, which was actually perfect preparation for COVID-19, yet I didn't know it, and I wanted to have more fun in my life. And it turned out I was hanging out with my 4-year-old granddaughter every day so that her folks could work and continue to do their thing during the pandemic. And that made it possible for us, even though we already had brainstormed a huge list of fun things we were going to do, every day it gave us a little bit of fun focus to move us forward throughout the goofiness and craziness and chaos of the pandemic. And so we had a great time. And then this year, beginning of this year, I am going to admit, and I bought the book last summer, but I was feeling like I think millions of other people off at the beginning of January. And it's been a long time since I have felt off and not centered and not focused on where I'm going, especially with the Get Up and Go Challenge. Get Up and Go Challenge keeps me moving forward and keeps me focused, personally, professionally, in all areas and aspects of my life, and it helps other people to do the same. Well, I did it in December, did not do it in January, did it in February, not in March, and then in April again, and now I haven't done it since April. And I purposefully took the summer off for a lot of reasons. Lots of family, lots of celebrations, lots of people actually getting together again after a very long time of us being separated. So I wanted to make sure I could focus on what was number one and most important to me, and that is my family relationships. I have my personal motto is be loving, love being, be you. And part of that is relationships, right? And my relationships are important to me, as I'm sure they are you. So I decided to take the summer off from the Get Up and Go Challenge. We're going to do it in August. Now, August is still summer in my book, but so we're ramping up for that. And I'm excited because it does add a bit more structure. I'm very structured in my days for the most part, but it adds a structure that I know on a subconscious level is automatically moving me forward toward my big goals and objectives. And that always feels good because I don't know about you, but as a human being, I feel like I want to be making progress. I want to feel like I am moving forward toward the things that I want. And the Get Up and Go Challenge helps me to keep momentum with that. So that is the annual challenge. Our Supersize Your Business, on my Supersize Your Business page, since I've spent so much of my life in business, running different businesses, building, starting, growing different businesses, it's only fitting that I share that information and that knowledge and the lessons that I've learned with other people. And right now I do that through my Supersize Your Business Facebook page, Facebook group, private Facebook group, and through some coaching and consulting and things like that. But one thing I started doing actually as I was getting ready to move a couple of years ago was to research an idiom every day. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how could I maybe use it or apply it to my life, and especially growing my business, my online businesses or my offline businesses, because in 2021 I'm doing both offline and online things. So I would ask myself, and I would research, what does this mean, where does it come from, and how can I use it in my business and my life? And that's what I started sharing every day on my Supersize Your Business page. I think today, we've done at least 1,000 idioms. There's been some repeats, because as I pick a topic to discuss idioms on, some of them need a second chance. They need to be shared again with the wisdom that I've gained over the last couple of years, the knowledge and what I've learned, and the ability to apply them differently. I do that as an impromptu share every day. So I don't script it. I don't decide what I'm going to say. I just have the framework. What does it mean? Where does it come from? How can you apply it to your business? That's my framework. And then I share that. So today's was light a fire under someone. And I created this little light a fire under someone thing, because I was going to get a lighter or matches and light it under one of my granddaughter's toys or dolls, and all I could see was it bursting into flames, me dropping it and starting on fire in the middle of the video. So although that would be probably attention getting and a lot of views, I don't need any more disfiguring to my face or any other part of me. So I figured I would just create something that looked like fire, lighting a fire under someone. And I would probably use a dragon to light a fire under something, because that would be safer for me than matches or lighters. So it's a great idiom. I didn't realize it came from chimney sweeps. They literally, when chimney sweeps were afraid to climb the chimneys to sweep them out, they would actually light a fire underneath them to motivate them to climb faster and clean the chimney faster, to sweep up and go to the top. And they got over their fear really fast. Either they got over their fear, or they fell into the fire and got burned, or they would die in the chimney of smoke inhalation. I mean, all kinds of horrific things probably happened back then. But it means, of course, to motivate or encourage somebody to do something or to do something faster. And I've got lots of experience with this idiom. I personally would probably say, what do I need to do to light a fire under your ass, to somebody, more than I would ask them directly, what do we need to do to get you moving? What do we need to do to help you? What can I do to help you to do what it is that you're here for? Or, sometimes we'd have to have that tough conversation. Is this the right place for you? Do you want to be here? If you don't want to be here, let's find you something else. If you don't want to be doing this job, let's find you something else that fits better for you. Great idiom, easily ties to business and leadership. So I have been having fun with the idioms. I probably coulda, shoulda, woulda stopped doing them hundreds of idioms ago, but it's still fun for me. It still keeps me thinking and being creative in terms of, how does this particular idiom tie to building and growing my business? Because some are a real stretch to figure out how they fit. And that gets me being creative and, making silly little toy things that represent the idiom, keeps me excited and engaged and being creative on the topic. And we all need things like that in our business and in our life. So for the near future, and probably longer, I will continue to do the idioms, share the idioms. Why? Because it's a way to relate to other people that they can understand, and we can share. We can use these idioms as we're communicating in our business to communicate a message to people that we might not be able to say in a way that they understand as clearly, believe it or not, as we do with the idioms. Now, that's confusing on the surface, because idioms inherently don't mean the words that they're composed of, except for if you're literally lighting a fire under a chimney sweep, that is to light a fire under someone. So that's sometimes they're that direct, and that's where the origin was. But to light a fire under someone now, of course, does not mean to literally light a fire under somebody. It just means to motivate them, to find out what works for them, to figure out how to get them to do what you want them to do. If we've ever been a parent, have you ever needed to get your kids to do something, or maybe your significant other to do something that they maybe didn't want to do, but you really, really needed them to do that? I think family holidays, every family holiday ever, We needed to get ready to go somewhere and be there at a certain time. And, you know, especially Christmas. The kids just open their Christmas presents. They're all excited about them. They want to play with them. The last thing they want to do is get dressed up and go to another family holiday, except there's other presents there for them, right? But how do you get people moving in the direction you want them to go in a way that works for them? If it doesn't motivate them, if it's not important to them, they're going to stay stuck and they're not going to do it. So that's the challenge, and that's how it applies to leadership in business. That is what I'm working on. I am working on the August Get Up and Go Challenge. I need to start promoting that, or actually just not promoting, but sharing that we're going to be doing it and letting people know and inviting them to join us, because it's you know, the more the merrier. It's fun to do with a lot of people. It's also, guess what? Something you can do anytime you want on your own. Secret on the in the supersize your business, erase in the Get Up and Go Challenge group. All of the past Get Up and Go challenges, all the 30, and one was a 45 plus day challenge, all of them are still up on that page. You can go to the, I think it's not called units anymore. They replaced the unit section with, I forget what it's called, but Facebook calls it a different thing now. You'll know what it is. But it's where you can separate out everything in order by lessons. You could go and you can watch any of the previous challenges right now. You could binge watch some of them and fly through, and you could get a feel for some of the tools, some of the things that we share to help install in the people that participate something called the SOAP framework. Where's my soap? My soap's buried. But we do what's called the SOAP frameworks, and that's the method we use to handle any change or challenge that comes our way in any area or aspect of our life. And then we go through each area and aspect of our life, all 9, and I share detailed examples of how I actually use the tool to work through that part of the SOAP framework. All right, that's it. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. I have a gazillion things to do today and a lot of projects that I'm working on for fun and in different areas and aspects of my life. But the big one for supersizing, growing my business, Get Up and Go Challenge, is getting the next Get Up and Go Challenge going. So have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow just to let you know what I'm up to now. What am I doing? Documenting my journey as I transition from brick and mortar to the online world, and back and forth in brick and mortar. Have a great day. Any questions about that? Ask. Take care. Catch you tomorrow.